Hey, Kyle here with Neulight. I wanted to show you our redesigned regular buffer light. If you take a look from the top, you'll notice it has these extra holes around the perimeter and a large hole in the center to help with ventilation off of the machine. And then if you flip it over, we've added 6 threaded holes in the bottom to help it to be able to be installed on additional types of buffers. We're going to start out with the RS16 and also look at the Epic today for installation. And then we'll talk about the theory of installation on other types of machines as well. With your buffer light, you've received this installation packet. It came with 3 plastic bumpers, a little pack of Loctite, 2 wire connectors, 3 washers, 3 panhead screws, and then 2 different lengths of a countersunk screw. Let's start with the RS16. If you look at your RS16 now, I've already removed the chrome plated cover top, and I've also removed this cover plate for the electrical components here. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that. There are 3 screws to take off to remove that plate, and then there are 2 screws here to remove this plate. Once you've opened it up, this is what you should see, 2 different wire nuts and the ground wire. And you're going to go ahead and take and cut the wire on your buffer light, strip back the sheathing, and just expose the white and the black wire. The ground wire we don't need, because when we attach this light to the machine, we're effectively grounding the light to the machine, and we don't need an additional ground wire. So you're going to go ahead and remove the wire nut off of the black and the white bundle of wires. There's also some blue and yellow, but it's primarily black and white. And go ahead and wire in your light. On the back of the RS16, you'll see this notch, and that's where you can feed in the cable from the buffer light once you've cut it off and connected it in there. And then you can go ahead and install it right on top of the machine. If you want to, you can go ahead and put this metal plate back on to cover up that electrical component area before you attach the light. For the RS16, you're going to use the shorter 3 of these countersunk screws. I like to go ahead and just drop the screw in here and find the hole there, the threaded hole, and go ahead and just finger tighten it in. And I'll repeat that with all 3 of them. You just have to kind of move it around. You don't want to tighten it all the way down until you've gotten all 3 of them finger tight. But once you get that all 3 finger tight, you can go ahead and finish it off with a Phillips head screwdriver, and that'll be ready to go. The logo should be at the front of the machine. That will broadcast the light the best. Now you could install this over top of the chrome plate as well, but it's going to disrupt the light that comes out, and it's going to reflect a lot of that off of that chrome shield. So that's why we removed it. It also helps with heat dissipation by having that off. And that's it for the RS16. Whenever you turn the machine on, the light will automatically come on with the machine. With the Epic, this is a 110 volt Epic. The installation is going to be the same for the HD, with the exception the wiring might be a little bit different. There's 2 bundles of wire that come out of the back of your Epic. One that goes directly to the motor that has a plug, the other that goes to the light components. We've removed all the light components. You're going to go ahead and just cut that sheathing, strip those 2 wires, and then connect it the same way we connected the RS16, except we're not going to have wire nuts in the machine. We use these 2 blue connectors. So to use these blue connectors, what you're going to do is unscrew it completely, and then go ahead and slide that wire nut onto the wire, and it should be about like that, about that much wire coming through. And then go ahead and thread it on. Now these are locking nut connectors, so as you tighten it, it will actually lock the wire nut onto the wire and prevent it from pulling out. So you're going to repeat that for the black wire, and then do the same, connect the light to it. Now on the Epic, it has this plate on top of the machine to add weights to. We're going to go ahead and remove the 3 screws that came with this plate. We've already removed it just for the speed up the video, and install the light directly onto the head of the buffer here. So you're going to go ahead and line that up, find the 3 holes, and attach it there, And then you can put this weight plate directly back on top. And we're going to use the longer countersunk screws and go through the weight plate, through the light, and into the buffer. A little bit more challenging, might take you a little bit longer to find the holes, but if everything's lined up, it's not too bad. You can just kind of shift it around until you hear it click and get in there, and that's it. Now that those are all finger tight, I can go ahead and tighten them down with the Phillips head screwdriver. And the wire connection, like I told you, is going to be right here. You're just going to snip this wire off. We supply that with this regular plug. There are some buffers that have a regular plug that you can plug this into on the buffer, but for most of the machines, you're going to have to cut, strip the wires, and attach it like that. Now these lights are rated for anywhere from 120 to 240 volts. You don't need to get a different light for different voltage. So if you have the HD Epic, this light will work fine. If you have a 110 volt Epic, this light will also work fine, no problem. Now the third application type is going to be the type of buffer that has a metal grid on the top, similar to like a power drive or a hyper grinder. What you're going to do then is you're going to use these threaded holes and take off the grill on the top of the buffer where it has a shroud on it with a grill in the center to allow airflow. Usually there's 3 screws that hold that grill on. Take that grill off and go ahead, set the grill on top of the light like this, and you're going to need to kind of figure out with a marker. You might have to do a little bit of drilling to be able to make these holes work out, and then you'll use the plastic spacers spaced out like this, these panhead screws, the washers, and the Loctite. So the Loctite is for going into the light. So the bumper will be here. You're going to set your metal grate on top, and then the screw and the washer go through the metal grate and then through the bumper and into your light. And that would be it. And then you'll just need to figure out how to wire it up. It's going to be different on every machine. Like I said, some will have a plug, some will just have wires that you'll need to strip and attach to. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us at info@neulights.com. Appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.